Life aboard the RMS Titanic in April 1912 was characterized by a structured routine, comfort, and elegance that reflected the social norms and expectations of its diverse passengers. Each day began with passengers awakening in their luxurious cabins, often decorated with fine furniture, carpets, and elegant fabrics. Morning rituals were designed to start the day with calm and leisure, whether it involved washing and dressing for breakfast or enjoying a moment of private reflection in the sweet Caesarean interiors. The ship's stewards ensured that everything was arranged for comfort, making the daily life of passengers both convenient and indulgent. For first-class passengers, breakfast was a multi-course affair in the grand dining saloons, featuring fresh fruits, eggs, cereals, pastries, and hot beverages. The service was meticulous, with polished silverware and attentive staff catering to the smallest requests. While the wealthiest passengers enjoyed the elaborate meals, second- and third-class travelers experienced more modest offerings, reflecting the social stratification on board the ship. The variety of dining options ensured that each passenger's daily routine began with nourishment and indulgence suited to their social status. After breakfast, passengers often spent their mornings on the promenade decks. Walking along the expansive decks allowed them to enjoy the sea breeze, admire the vast Atlantic, and engage in conversation. These morning walks were not only recreational but also a social opportunity, as passengers could interact with acquaintances, business contacts, or fellow travelers. For children, supervised play areas provided a chance to explore safely, while the ship's crew ensured that every space was orderly and comfortable. First-class lounges offered passengers a place to read, relax, or engage in intellectual pursuits. Libraries aboard the Titanic were stocked with books catering to a range of tastes, from literature and history to scientific treatises. Passengers could spend hours immersed in reading, discussing ideas with peers, or simply enjoying the quiet ambience. The ship's structured schedule allowed for a balance between relaxation, entertainment, and social interaction, reflecting the expectations of wealthy travelers who sought both leisure and cultural engagement during their voyage. Music played an integral role in the daily routines of passengers. The ship employed skilled musicians who performed in first-class dining areas and lounges, creating an atmosphere of sophistication and refinement. Classical pieces, popular songs, and orchestral compositions were part of the soundtrack of daily life aboard the Titanic. Passengers could listen to performances while sipping tea, attending gatherings, or strolling on the deck, making music a constant companion throughout their day. Afternoons were often devoted to social activities and recreational entertainment. Card games, chess, and other parlor activities were common among first-class passengers. While lounges and decks provided spaces for casual conversations and interactions, some passengers attended afternoon teas, formal receptions, or cultural presentations organized by the crew. The daily life was carefully orchestrated to provide both pleasure and a sense of routine, ensuring that passengers remained engaged and comfortable. Meals continued to define the day's structure. Lunch and afternoon tea offered opportunities for informal dining, while formal dinners in the evening were a highlight of social life aboard the Titanic. These dinners were elaborate affairs, often spanning multiple courses and featuring exquisite presentations. The finest ingredients, prepared by expert chefs, reflected the ship's commitment to luxury and excellence. Passengers dressed formally, interacting with friends and new acquaintances, while musicians played in the background to enhance the dining experience. As evening descended, the ship's lounges and public spaces became venues for entertainment and social gatherings. Music, dancing, and conversation filled the air, providing passengers with a vibrant end to their day. The orchestral performances continued into the night, accompanied by the ambient sounds of the ocean and the occasional laughter of passengers enjoying games or storytelling. For the children, supervised activities continued under the watchful eyes of attendants, maintaining safety while allowing amusement. Despite the calm and elegance of these routines, there was an underlying awareness of the journey's ultimate purpose: crossing the Atlantic safely and efficiently. Crew members diligently prepared for daily operations, ensuring that the ship remained spotless. Meals were served on schedule, and all amenities were available. Passengers' trust in the crew allowed them to fully immerse themselves in leisure, enjoying a sense of security and normalcy that was typical of the Titanic's early voyage days. On April 14, 1912, passengers followed their routines, much as they had the previous days. Breakfast, promenade walks, card games, and music filled the hours, with no indication of the impending disaster. In the late evening, first-class guests retired after dinner and music, while others attended social gatherings or returned to their cabins. Children went to bed or were entertained by attendants, and the crew carried out their duties with precision and dedication. The iceberg collision later that night abruptly ended this seamless routine. The elegant life of passengers, structured around dining, socializing, and recreation, was shattered within minutes. The transition from comfort to chaos highlighted the stark contrast between the ordinary experiences and the extraordinary tragedy that followed. Many passengers were caught unprepared, and the routines that had defined their daily life could no longer provide safety or reassurance. Looking back, the daily routine of Titanic passengers before the collision offers a vivid snapshot of early 20th century luxury travel. It showcases the social customs, leisure practices, and cultural expectations of the wealthiest travelers of the era. From morning promenades to evening music and formal dinners, the ship's schedule reflected both comfort and sophistication. While the disaster ultimately overshadowed these daily routines, the detailed accounts, photographs, and memoirs from survivors continue to provide insight into life aboard the Titanic. In its final hours, the contrast between the ordinary daily life and the extraordinary catastrophe makes the Titanic's story enduringly fascinating. It reminds us of the fragility of human endeavors, the unpredictability of nature, and the importance of remembering the personal experiences of those who lived, even briefly, in one of the most luxurious ships ever built.